Todavía yo te quiero. Porque ya tú no me quieres.
Por esto, porque es probable que lo merezco, pero no lo quiero, por eso me voy. Qué lástima, pero adiós. Si me despido de ti y me voy. Qué lástima, pero adiós. Me despido de ti.
¡Gracias, Guatemala!
No me gustas, ¿por qué será? ¿Por qué a mí? Yeah. No te puedo decir sin contestar esa pregunta. ¿Qué es lo que quieres? ¿Qué necesidad es la que tienes para seducirme otra vez? Besarme otra vez.
De algo más grande. En el centro de nuestro ser colectivo, nuestras manos unidas sostienen los frutos de nuestra labor conjunta. Un recordatorio vuelan alto, dejando un rastro de belleza y conexión. En este mosaico de la vida, cada figura geométrica, cada flor que adorna nuestro entorno, es un testimonio de nuestra capacidad para superar juntos cualquier desafío. En el contraste del blanco y negro con el color, encontramos nuestra identidad. Un equilibrio.
Baila swing y baila swing. Y goza swing y tiene swing. Y baila swing y goza swing. Con mucho swing, swing, swing. ¡Ey! ¿Qué tomé foto?
Here we're at the top of the museum, and you see one of the pyramids right next to a mall, next to all of these other buildings. And as you saw on the map below, there was buildings everywhere, so you have to imagine how many pyramids were destroyed. But there you can see another small pyramid that's still standing, and also there. This is the top of the museum. The old Guatemala city. Surrounded by the new Guatemala city. And some very good looking statues that were found here. So through this underground passage, we just arrived actually below the pyramid, to the center of the pyramid, where we see this burial site. So above us is the pyramid, and we can see here where we are in the structure. So it actually can go lower. This is the pyramid or the mound, and we're here, but you can see that there's deeper structures because they kept building on top of the last tombs with a new tomb until it became as tall as it is today.
¿Viene otro? ¡El tambor! ¿El qué? ¡El tambor! ¿No está? Pero viene, va a venir. ¡Las caras!
¿Aún no tienes? ¿No? In the highlands of Guatemala, they have a bunch of these Swiss-style restaurants, or at least that's what they call it, with this special cheese called queso chancol, which I believe is this one, and you can eat it with tortilla con queso de chancol for 5 euros. And this is one of the examples of the restaurants. Champuradas is a special type of cookie they have here. And they also have chocolate. And I like the style, it looks nice. We're on our way to a Mayan ruin. And as you can see, it's quite a lot colder in the highlands. And selling the local produce. Hola.
Buenos días.
Buenos días. So quite a few families have over time built these Swiss-style restaurants that people. So let's try the frijol soup. It's got a excellent taste, very good. It has an undertone of chorizo, and it has laurel leaves as well. Very good, very good. You have to take this. And then we have the pan de ajo. Let's try it. Good pan de ajo. Very good.
Smoky.
Would recommend. And now we have our tortillas arriving. Gracias. So this here looks like frijol. These are spring onions. This is a sauce. And these here are chorizos with the queso. Queso chancol. Smoked queso chancol. Each with 2 tortillas and even some bananas. So let's try it out. This is for €5. Alright. So we're gonna try it with this spicy sauce, which is probably what type of
Maybe chiltepper.
chiltepe chili. And we're gonna put some of this sauce on top as well, whatever this is. It's almost like a little taco, but it's not really a taco. Very So the first thing, the taco is very different. So the tortilla is very thick. It's very different from a normal taco. The chorizo, you can really taste smoked, smoky, very good. And the cheese is also excellent. Very good. So we just arrived in Iximche, which is a Mayan ruin. And I think one of the interesting things is that, as you see here, they have the explanations. But what's interesting is that they also have it written in Mayan. So in this case, Cachiquel, which is one of the Mayan languages. And yeah, half the population of Guatemala is Mayan. Not all of them speak Cachiquel, but that's still pretty interesting to see. Here we are. See a nice Mayan ruin in the highlands of Guatemala. So here we are in Iximche at another site with information. And it's quite interesting because we know that it was a Cachiquel and Quiche Mayan tribes. So those are 2 Mayan tribes. But they also mentioned the Tzutujiles, which is another tribe. And by the time the Spanish arrived and conquered, of course, the Mayan civilization had sort of mostly fallen from its heights. But apparently when the Spanish came, it was a class of Mexicanized Mayans, aka, I suppose, Aztec, sort of Aztec influenced Mayans who were ruling around here. And one of the tidbits which I found interesting is the self-sacrifice. So you have human sacrifice, but you also have the self-sacrifice. And they basically would go either in a dark cave or a dark temple. And here it says, the self-sacrifice consisted in making yourself bleed in your ears, your tongue, or your penis with a sharp obsidian stone or something very sharp. So I hope that was enough to make the Mayan gods happy. And so the rulers of the city, apparently there were 2 rulers in the city, would live in the center of this city. And here we have the what I remember was called Pocatok in Aztec society. It's probably called something else here, but it was the ball game court. What you'll often find in Guatemala, but probably not just in Guatemala, but in other Latin American countries where the Mayas used to live is that there's so many cities and archaeological sites that they're essentially not yet fully excavated or fully explored. You'll see this quite a lot in Tikal, which is in the rainforest area of Guatemala. Here we're in the highland areas, but Tikal is probably the most excavated and explored site. If you go to any of the sites near Tikal, there's so many, you'll find that they're all still completely unexplored, unexcavated, and real virgin archaeological sites. And even here, I'll just give you an example. In Iximche, you can see that there's still mounds, and behind that further mounds that are essentially still under excavation. It's simply a hill of dirt, but clearly there's a pyramid below, and all of these pyramids presumably have some interesting stuff or findings below them. And this is one of the examples which looks more explored, since they at least removed quite a lot of the trees that used to grow here. But if you go towards the northeast of the country, it's very different. For example, in Yaksha, which is to the east of Tikal, really not far away from Tikal, there's really entire pyramids that are still uncovered, or fully covered, I should say, by rainforest. Walking towards this pyramid, I just remembered another quite interesting fact about Guatemala, is that since, as I said before, half the population is Mayan, as in essentially not really conquered by the Spanish as other parts of Latin America were. There's plenty of people here that speak Mayan as a first language, and therefore, really funnily, or I mean, I don't know if it's funny, but interestingly, they speak Spanish with a very strong accent, much like a European would speak Spanish, or I would speak Spanish with a European accent for the locals. Well, the people here, or half the population of Guatemala, speak Spanish with a Mayan accent. And you can really tell the difference, especially if you go to areas like Atitlan, or perhaps here on the highlands. And as I walk further here, there's more interesting stuff. So the deeper you go into the highlands of Guatemala, the more Mayan it gets, and it doesn't get much more Mayan than this. Many people still believe in the old Mayan gods, and many of the sites are still being used actively as prayer grounds. So here is a shaman essentially doing some of these prayers, and I've seen this before in other places. Here we're behind this little pyramid, and you can also see some offering platforms here where they burn the offerings and the candles, and we see the smoke flying by. So these are really regularly used because they're all black with fire.
Y si el niño se queda aquí, ¿qué?
A la madre, lo jodido es que si no sale ahorita, yo no la tengo los brazos del pastel. ¿Es a las 6 o qué? Sí, 6.
¿Son las 6? Ah, sí, pues entonces por lo del Día de Reyes.
Pero hoy...
What's the verb rationing it?
Yep.
Because on the car ride, I might need one.
Igual aderezos con leche de té.
Ok, gracias.
¿Hiciste una caja?
Thank you.
Gracias.
Vegan roll.
Vegan, okay, nice. Wait.
¿Un rollo?
Gracias. Gracias.